This is a brief video endorsing 1987's The Last Emperor from Bernardo Bertolucci, the Best Picture winner for that year. This will be a brief theme going forward. The Best Picture winners from 1987 onward, a relatively recent period of time. Up until now, lately I've been speaking negatively, you may have noticed, or not, of some of the recent Best Picture winners. I was tarnishing Oppenheimer. Oh, Nolan's gone downhill at last. Well, actually, we already had Dark Knight Rises and Prestige, to be fair. Everything Everywhere All at Once was bad. Coda was bad. Nomadland was bad. Now, I don't always dislike the Best Picture winners, but a lot of the time, some of the time at least, I do. The Last Emperor, this is not an adored film from the more unlikable of the cinephile community, the more, I don't even want to use the word exclusive here. I think The Last Emperor can potentially reek of one of those 1980s productions where it's all about the production itself rather than cinematographic virtuosity. It's more about, it's almost as though the modern idea of Oscar bait is composed during the 1980s. Given that the next 3 years were won by Rain Man, Driving Miss Daisy, and Dances with Wolves, I'm very inclined to believe so, actually. God, those are rubbish. We'll be talking about the Best Picture winners that I do like from 1987 onward. It is a number of them. There are a few of them which I'm quite fond of. The only one we won't be discussing that I do like, just because we've discussed it before solely, is Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. I quite like that one. I think a lot of us do. The Last Emperor. Due to the presence of Bertolucci, it's more auteuristic than some of the other 1980s. It's all about the production values, Best Picture winners. I think we could accuse Gandhi, even though I really appreciate that film, of being like this. Chariots of Fire, The Killing Fields, that didn't win Best Picture but was nominated. Out of Africa, which is like this to the point where I don't even care for Out of Africa that much. I mean, Sidney Pollack's no... Bertolucci's not perfect. Is certainly not in his prime either in the 70s. There are flaws there. I'm not interested enough in becoming some cosmopolitan hack to pretend that some of these films are good or morally viable in the first place. Let's be honest. We know what I'm talking about here in regard to Bertolucci, and we're going to move on from that because it's kind of disgusting. Anyway, the thing I'd like to discuss is how Last Emperor is genuinely worthy of being a part of some cinematic canon. It's not just one of these normie Oscar bait sort of popular novel, but it's actually kind of hacky sort of, blockbuster without the kind of the popcorn action entertainment, but rather with just predictable dramatic scenes. It's not unpredictable, but it is a work of absolute awe. The ability to film inside the Forbidden City was unique to the time and since. Maybe there are some films in China which have been the exception, although they'd all just be propagandic junk. Anyway, Last Emperor. AOD thoroughly endorses it, and I think it's a shame that this might be dismissed in some circles as this or that, capitulating to right-wing propaganda, or capitulating to Oscar bait traditions. Listen, this is way better than that. I hate to say it, just because of the subject matter. It's true that this isn't historically accurate either. From what we understand, The Last Emperor, not the nicest little kid. Anyway, I think we've got to compare this film very positively, at least, to Scorsese's Condon from 1997, which is embarrassing, sentimental, and lifeless, despite being about fascinating subject matter. We have waffled on for too long now. We've got a few more films to get to. Moving on.